You can call me crazy for what I'm about to say. And what I'm going to say is I think that there is a possibility we may have not one, but two group of five conference teams in this college football playoff this postseason. You may say, how is that going to happen? Only one group of five team gets the bid. And this is where you're wrong if you have that assumption. Because when we look at the qualifications for the College Football Playoff Committee and the five automatic bids that the conferences get, the five automatic bids go to the five highest ranked conference champions. So there's a world where the ACC is so abysmal, the abysmal Coastal Conference doesn't get in, and two group of five teams possibly get in. The American Conference has a lot, but I also think that the Mountain West could have a possibility, though it's very doubtful. But if the abysmal Coastal Conference just doesn't do that well, then the ACC may be in trouble losing that spot. It's a very small possibility, but I just want to put it back out there in the ether, the college football conversation realm, because I feel like some people have that assumption that the Power Four teams and then one group of five team automatically gets a spot. But no, just a reminder, it is the five highest ranked conference champions. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of College Football Under Review, a show made by a football fan for the football fans everywhere. This is our Week 12 preview episode. God, Week 12. It's slowly fading in the distance, but the postseason, we've still got it. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It helps us know that you enjoy the content, that we're doing a good job, and you want to be a part of the Under Review community. And someone who's always going to be a part of the Under Review community this season is 38 Hot Tubs. 38 Hot Tubs is a family-owned and American-built business supplying Viking hot tubs that feature high-quality material and superior components, ensuring that every aspect of the hot tub is designed for years to come. When it comes to relaxation, recovery, and overall well-being, few things compare to the soothing experience of a high-quality hot tub. And for Rob Abel, it's all about helping people improve their health and quality of life. Whether you're an athlete looking for muscle recovery or someone who simply wants to unwind after a long day, soaking in a hot tub can provide numerous benefits. The ideal combination of warm water, hydrotherapy jets can ease tension and lower cortisol levels to help combat anxiety. A hot tub even promotes better blood flow, which leads to better muscle recovery, reduced soreness, and improved flexibility, combined with overall cardiovascular health improvements. Even a nice nighttime soak can improve sleep quality by relaxing the body and mind before bed. So if you're interested in experiencing the therapeutic benefits of a Viking spa, reach out to Rob Abel today. If you mention this ad to Rob, your journey to relaxation and wellness starts with a $200 discount off one spa and $600 off an order of two. 38 Hot Tubs. Whether you're looking for relief from sore muscles, a way to enhance your fitness routine, or simply a place to relax with family and friends, Rob is here to help you find the perfect hot tub to fit your needs. Now let's take college football under review. So we begin our impact games of the week, games that are going to impact the college football playoff race. And it's about that time where these impact games really make an impact. And the first one is 11 a.m. Number 9 Notre Dame is going all the way to number 22 Pitt. Now, one thing that's weird about this, and I'm going to bring it up first, when looking at this game, personally think that this could be a clear upset against Notre Dame, but Pat Narduzzi, the Pitt head coach, came out and said that he doesn't care about the game because it's out of conference. He said, we could lose 110-10, and it doesn't matter because it's not in our conference. Well, Pat, it kind of does matter because if you do win the conference and you lost by 110, I don't think you would be in the playoff because you're in the abysmal Coastal Conference. Now, outside of that, I still think that this game really jumps off the paper for me. Notre Dame, they have been not dominating, but they've consistently been beating opponents like they should in their cupcake schedule. And they've been doing this to slowly get back in the graces of the College Football Playoff Committee. And on the other hand, Pitt looked like they were struggling at the beginning of the season. Their quarterback wasn't doing it. He was a transfer from Alabama. That's why he got out of Bama. He wasn't good enough. He went to Pitt. Things didn't work out there. The relationship wasn't rocky. He wasn't enjoying the cold weather, I guess. But they had quarterback problems. They got their other quarterback in, and they've been rolling this season. They have just absolutely been putting out offensive performances left and right that look really good. And they need to have these kind of games leading up to this Notre Dame game because it's 100% an elimination game for both of these programs going into this weekend. Pitt is a great team, but they rank 79th in turnover margin and 129th in penalty yards. You can't shoot yourself in the foot playing against this Notre Dame team because the defense for Notre Dame, they aren't as good as last season, in my opinion, but I think they're just as physical and still create problems and play complete games due to their physicality and the head coach, Marcus Freeman, defensive-minded coach. So when it comes to crunch time, he can, step in and play take over for play calling when needed so. But you really can't shoot yourselves in the foot this year compared to last year's Notre Dame team because CJ Carr is absolutely lighting up the stats sheets compared to Riley Leonard from last season. And Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price, they're just going to run it down your throat with those two. So overall, I'm going to give it to Notre Dame just because I think Pitt's head coach kind of has these players in a thought of, yeah, we're going to play recklessly, and it's going to be too much reckless abandonment. And they're not really going to be thinking about the game. They are going to be thinking about the conference. And if they're down by a lot, I don't think they're really going to come and try and finish the game, even though they don't see it as an elimination game. So I'm going to have to go with Notre Dame in this first game. And now, our game of the week is 2:30 p.m. Number 11, Oklahoma, travels to number 4, Alabama, playing in Tuscaloosa. Now, these are two projected playoff teams right now, and they are about to duke it out. I think the biggest thing that everyone talks about with Oklahoma is the defense. The defense has been great this season. They haven't gotten a lot of takeaways, but that doesn't matter. They are dominant in the run game. Their pass game's pretty good, but we've seen teams like Ole Miss just constantly carve them up. And Auburn, when they didn't really have a great pass, they still kind of gave them some trouble. But the Oklahoma run will probably shut down the Alabama run completely. The Alabama rush attack this season has been almost non-existent, and this Oklahoma team is great at just stopping the run. And that will make you now think, okay, if the run game is out of it for Alabama, then it comes down to the pass. And Alabama's passing has been great. Alabama this season has been one of the best passing teams, averaging about 290 a game. And not only that, but their offense is 21st in third down conversions. And their red zone offense ranks 16th, scoring on 92.1% of red zone opportunities. But this Oklahoma team, if they shut down the run, they then realize, okay, they are probably going to pass it. And they are great at getting after the quarterback and bringing pressure. Alabama needs to keep Ty Simpson protected in the pocket. Against FSU, that's how Alabama got dominated. They weren't protecting Ty Simpson. He didn't have enough time to throw the ball. recently in these great games, the offensive line has done its job. It's protected Ty Simpson. And that's how Alabama has been able to win. Oklahoma has been able to win because their defense has been so dominant in limiting opponents to offensive yards. They didn't do that against Tennessee last week, but last week or 2 weeks ago, can't remember. But that Oklahoma team was able to get takeaways. But Alabama doesn't give takeaways at all. I think this Oklahoma team, their offense is good, but they haven't been the same since the John Mateer injury. So I think that's really just going to limit their threatening power over this Alabama team. Kalen DeBoer is undefeated in Tuscaloosa since arriving in Alabama, and I think he's going to keep that going this season. And if Alabama is able to have a great win and Ty Simpson puts up great numbers and doesn't flinch, then he might just overtake Julian Sayin and Fernando Mendoza in the Heisman race. So give me Alabama against Oklahoma. This isn't the Alabama team last year that was so reliant on the run. This is a Alabama team that has the ability to pass with efficiency and will be able to disrupt that Oklahoma offense and maybe go a little bit of a fast-paced offensive style to keep the defense on their heels. And so that takes us to 2:30 p.m. The Big Ten. Number 21, Iowa at number 17, USC. This game is important for USC as I think that they potentially are a bubble playoff team with a win against Iowa. USC is currently third in the Big 12 as well. Iowa, some people say that they still have an opportunity to get in or be a bubble team. I just don't see that happening at all with their schedule and how they've played this season. But one thing about this game that's going to be a lot of fun to watch is I think that the age-old question we ask ourselves a lot of who wins games, the offense or the defense, because these two teams statistically and mentally, physically, are completely different in which aspect of the football they dominate. Because Iowa is fourth in total defense, USC is second in total offense. Now, when we look at it for the opposite for each team, Iowa's total offense is 122nd in the nation. USC's defense is 48th. So Iowa, fourth in total defense against USC, second in total offense. We'll clash, and we'll see if the age-old question will be answered. But I think that USC will be able to do a lot of damage against this Iowa defense. They rank fifth in college football for third down percentage, and USC also ranks 67th in averaging penalty yards. It's not good, but it's going to have to be better compared to Iowa's number one ranked penalty yards per game. They only allow 20.2 average penalty yards per game. So USC is really going to need to be more disciplined when it comes to this Iowa team. But lucky for them, it is at USC and not at Iowa. Both teams have strong red zone offenses, as USC is 11th in the nation and Iowa's is 20th. So the biggest thing is maybe the defense is what is going to win the game. Iowa can shut down the USC pass, and USC has a couple of injured running backs. Because of this, I'm going with Iowa. Iowa really held their own against Oregon last week. I think they have the momentum going into this game, even though that they lost, and I think that they're just going to show out. And Gronowski, the quarterback, has gotten a rushing touchdown every game this season. So I'm going to take the Iowa Hawkeyes, ruin USC's chances at a potential playoff if things went their way. So give me Iowa in that game. And then 6:30 p.m., number 10 Texas at number 5 Georgia. I really debated about having this as the game of the week, but this game, let's be honest, compared to last season, just feels completely different. Texas, we thought they were going to be everything, but Arch Manning has not showed us really anything crazy. And Georgia still looks dominant now after the Mississippi State win, because after the way that they handled Mississippi State, I think every Georgia fan was really waiting for that win, waiting for a win like that to say, okay, we actually are good. We can actually show up and dominate. And I think Georgia's hitting their stride in getting playoff ready. Texas is still a juggernaut, but I think the Georgia offense is just too good for Texas. And you may think, why? Well, it's because of Gunnar Stockton. Gunnar Stockton is a absolute monster when it comes to crunch time. Georgia's offense ranks 17th in third down percentage, converting 48.3% of the time. And so I think that this Texas defense, their defensive line is great, but Gunnar Stockton is too good at throwing the ball and being able to scramble in the pocket. So I think he's going to be able to be very elusive in the backfield and give himself a couple extra seconds to throw against the Texas cornerbacks. In Texas, they're one of these undisciplined teams. They seem to be able to catch lightning in a bottle, but sometimes they forget to let it out. One of those ways is penalty yards. They're 117th in the nation compared to Georgia's 32nd ranked in the nation, averaging about, let's say, 20 yards less in penalty yards. And the Georgia offense is in the top 25 for red zone scoring or red zone defense, and Texas's red zone offense is 81st. So when we're looking at the other side of the ball, Arch Manning isn't going to be able to get anything done against Georgia. I think Georgia is going to also control the time of possession, and that is going to slowly choke away any hopes that Texas had of Arch creating a March Madness type of miracle here. So give me Georgia beating Texas horns down. And now we move to our notable games of the week under review. 11 a.m., number 24 USF at Navy. Big American Conference matchup. These two teams are the top two American Conference teams, and they are playing each other and will most likely kick the other one out of the playoffs. Now, when we're looking at the American Conference, Tulane, North Texas, and Eastern Carolina University all have one loss as well. So, yes, if USF or Navy loses this game, they are probably out with two losses in their conference. Navy has been doing great until the last 2 weeks. I think that USF is so much more battle-tested in who they have played at the beginning of the season. The team who really was bad just about the last 3 years has now just completely turned around its program. These players, I feel like, know what they're playing for. They understand the, not gratitude, but the gravity of this game. I think that Byron Brown for USF is going to continue to play great, dominate the run game as a quarterback, and just be everything he should be passing the ball. It's pretty amazing, too, how he has been able to keep his body healthy this entire time with how many hits he has taken. And because of that, I think that this USF offense is just going to be way too dominant for Navy in this game. So give me USF to beat Navy. I still think Navy will win the Army-Navy game, hopefully. But 2:30 p.m., number 19, Virginia is at Duke. Virginia fell out of the playoff committee's good graces so fast after they lost. And Duke, on the other hand, still has a chance to make the ACC championship game. I know, it's wild times we live in. 5-4 Duke still has a chance. Both of these teams, I think, will play great. But Virginia, comparatively of the two, is the only one who has been able to handle late game pressure, unlike Duke, who I think just kind of crumbles in the fourth quarter if things don't go their way. And so I just think that Virginia is going to have a good game. They're going to bounce back from their loss. Duke is going to have a great game too. Darian Mensah is a great quarterback, but they just cannot finish games and finish drives. And how do I know that? Well, they are terrible in their red zone defense. Their offense is great, but it's their defense that's lacking. They rank 124th in red zone defense, allowing opponents to score on 92% of the time. And then just outside of that, the turnover margin is abysmal. And Virginia is one of the top 25 best teams in the country for turnover margins, with a +5 right now going into this game. All of that being said, it's clear that Virginia is going to beat Duke. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Don't sue me. And then another 2:30 game, NC State at number 15, Miami. Miami is on the outside looking in for the ACC title game right now with 2 conference losses. And we'll discuss later that Miami is technically the front runner for a playoff spot in the ACC in rankings, but they technically can't win the ACC right now, so it's only a projection, but we'll discuss that later. I think Miami will have trouble. I think Miami will be in trouble this game, but I think the entire game rests on one man, and that's one aspect of his body, Carson Beck's arm, because NC State is second to last in pass defense in the nation because their offense is phenomenal. CJ Bailey, such a fun quarterback to watch. I 100% watch any of his highlight tapes from this season, and you will be stunned. But NC State ranks 122nd in defensive third down percentage. So Miami needs Carson Beck to convert third downs. Should be easy enough. And Miami is in the top 30 for converting on third downs. And then Miami's defense, hopefully they should be able to handle CJ Bailey. If he's commits turnovers, then this game, I think, will be over by halftime because Miami's defense is one of the best in the nation with a +7 turnover margin as we speak. Both teams, though, have strong red zone offenses, which will be the highlight of this game. But I think the Miami defense will do too much when it needs to show up against this NC State team. So give me Miami to beat NC State. And 6 p.m., Florida at number 7, Ole Miss. Ole Miss has a bye next week, and then they go to Starkville on Thanksgiving weekend. I think Lane Kiffin is on the precipice of making history at Ole Miss and could possibly become a legend if they win this game, beat Mississippi State, and go to the playoffs. And on the other side of the field, Florida has been the exact opposite. They have simply just not been winning. And what do I mean by that? USF, Georgia, LSU, all of these games they could have won if Lagway was not a false prophet and he truly was the savior of the swamp. Florida ranks 120th in third down percentage, only converting 32.8% of the time. And Ole Miss's defense on third downs only allows opponents to convert 32.6% of the time. Almost a complete 180 of how these teams operate. But both of the teams have strong red zone offenses, yet Ole Miss does not have that much time of possession. So what does that mean? It means that Ole Miss cannot fall behind to Florida. This Florida team, their defense is good. They can hold them, but I don't think you're going to be able to hold the floodgates of Trinidad Chambliss's and Lane Kiffin's passing attack offense. I think Ole Miss just overwhelms Florida. If it was in the swamp, I would feel a little bit different about it. I still think this is going to be closer than if Billy Napier was there, but still give me Ole Miss to win this game. And then our last notable game of the week is 9:30 p.m. Boise State at San Diego State. Yeah, I know it's a late one. It's a late one, but it's worth it because these are the top two teams in the Mountain West Conference. Both lead, and below them, there is currently a 5-team tie with 2 losses. And both of these top 2 teams, San Diego State and Boise State, have 1 conference loss each. So this could really shake things up for both programs no matter who loses. But outside of that, Boise State has lost the stigma, the fame, the glitz and glamour it once had last season with Ashton Genty, and they just seem human like anyone else. Their starting quarterback is injured, though, so their backup is going to come in, and he even said, "Watch out, I'm the future." So things may get a little crazy at 9:30 p.m., but San Diego State is not really good on third down conversions. Boise State, good on defending third down conversions for opponents, though Boise State is not very disciplined, with being 113th in penalty yards, which is not great. And Boise State has the incapability to complete drives, especially at least stopping drives. That's what I meant to say, against opponents, because they allow opponents about 90% of the time to score. I think that with Boise State, they showed us at the beginning of the season they don't have all of that. I think San Diego State is going to be reeling back, figuring out what happened against their loss to Hawaii, and come back stronger in this game against Boise State. So give me San Diego State. And then we've got some weekly controversies and news that's going down. The first one is Michigan State has a 3-year probation now. The NCAA has placed Michigan State football on 3 years of probation for violations that occurred during Mel Tucker's tenure as the head coach. What does this mean? The school will be penalized $30,000 in addition to 1.5% of the football budget. There will be multiple restrictions on recruiting, and Mel Tucker has a 3-year show clause. What does the 3-year show clause mean? Absolutely nothing. It doesn't mean anything. I don't know why they put that on there, keep using it. And then next is Brian Kelly. He's everyone thought he was done with LSU, but no, he's suing LSU. In a legal filing against LSU's Board of Supervisors, Brian Kelly's attorney say LSU has taken the position that it has not formally terminated Kelly as the Tigers football coach. There's this whole debate about whether their AD had the right to fire him. They never gave him a formal contract to sign to be fired. They want to hit him with this morality clause on why he's being fired. And there was supposed to be this 7-day window of something to be signed. Nothing was done. And so now Brian Kelly is suing LSU. LSU, have fun. Your offseason's already not, your coach is fired, your season's over, but the offseason's just getting started, is what I'm trying to tell you. And then Kirby, he had Billy Napier at his practice in preparation for Texas this week. I know it's pretty common practice, but I think if Smart is a little smart and shows that he is the best disciple of Saban, then don't be shocked if we see Billy Napier on the sidelines at Georgia at a cheaper price than usual and bring him on as an assistant, and maybe Kirby Smart begins the Kirby Smart rehab program like Nick Saban had at Alabama. And now let's take a look at our college football playoff committee poll. I think, like I said earlier, Miami cannot get the at-large conference bid, but the projected rankings is flawed because it cannot predict the future accurately. Alabama and Oklahoma, Oklahoma's potentially a playoff team, but Alabama will probably win. But who knows? Oklahoma could win. But I think we're about to see a conundrum and a huge discussion come playoff selection time between multiple 10-2 teams for a final playoff spot. And my current bubble teams looking at this, in my opinion, are Texas, BYU, Utah, USC, and all the Atlantic Coastal Conference teams. Because I genuinely don't know who's going to win that conference. If they have 2 losses or 3, then there's a discussion that they don't even make the playoffs or get a bid. And for the 12-team projected bracket, this is what it looks like if you're watching on YouTube or Spotify video. I think that it is still going to be electric. One of the more electric years. I know last year was the only other year that we have. But this just already looks so much more fun, so much more different, diverse. And last year, it felt like everyone knew the teams that could only win. But I don't really care. I know that there's some discussion about the 1 seed still has possibly the toughest path, but this is a national championship tournament. If you want to win the national championship and be the national champion, you need to beat teams for the national champion. So I don't want to hear any bickering or complaining from anyone depending on what the seeding is. And then to wrap up our episode, our Heisman hype player of the week goes to Fernando Mendoza after his heroic 90-yard drive against Penn State. Everyone is just proclaiming him as he's got the Heisman moment that he's been needing. He's going to win the Heisman. He's going to be great. We'll see what happens, but I think the media is really pushing for Fernando Mendoza to win the Heisman this season. So that wraps up our episode. Sunday, you will see our Week 12 recap episode. I'm Nick Watts. Thank all of you for tuning into this episode, and we'll see you next time when we take more college football under review.